I've just watched with my family a really marvellously schlocky British horror film called, and the title tells you all you need to know really, Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. And what a great film it is. I've only recently discovered it's a favourite film of Edgar Wright, the marvellous English film director who directed Shaun of the Dead and other classics. So Dr. Terror is played by Peter Cushing, the marvellous old British actor who was in Star Wars famously, but also a key player in the Hammer horror series in the 1960s. And also Christopher Lee, a great stalwart, of course, of the Lord of the Rings films, and also Star Wars. He's Count Dooku, isn't he? So he was in it. He was brilliant in it, I thought. And then, bizarrely, they were put together with people like Roy Castle. Those of you of my generation will remember Roy Castle as a stalwart of British light comedy and children's TV in the 1970s. Fine trumpet player. Donald Sutherland was in it, who many of you will know as President Snow, but Donald Sutherland, huge star of the 1970s. And all these actors are in this wonderfully low-budget British film in which they all meet up in a railway carriage. And I won't tell you too much about what happens in the railway carriage, but it's absolutely fantastic. There are man-eating plants that come into it. There's a dismembered hand. There are voodoo rituals. It's fantastic. And now, the reason why I'm mentioning all this is the score is by Elizabeth Lutyens, who was the great post-war British serialist composer, composing in a sort of post-Schoenbergian 12-tone way. There's also a pop song called Everybody's Got Love, which is sung by the British singer Kenny Lynch. So the musical apparatus in the score is wonderfully diffuse, really. I should say that the jazz band that also plays in the soundtrack is the Tubby Hayes Band. And I believe that copies of the record by the Tubby Hayes Band for that film are selling for large amounts of money. So if you have one in your attic, have a look and see how much they go for on eBay. It's very interesting to hear Liz Lutyens' score in that film, because horror is the genre, I would say, in which the vocabulary of atonality and serialism is most at home. I mean, if you play atonal music to people, it reminds them of horror films. That is essentially what atonality has become in the popular mind. And it's very interesting that Liz Lutyens is there in the 1960s, aware in a sense that her vocabulary is best suited to that genre.